It's 8 p.m. I'm in bed. I'm about to set my alarm for 4:30 in the morning. That's generally when I wake up. Getting in shape is going to take some time out of your work day, so it's going to require a little bit of discipline to work into your lifestyle. We're going to start off with warm-up number 2. That is rolling the calves for 10 reps apiece. That will soften them up, and then we're going to move on to a lot of bang for your buck type mobility exercise that I call the sprinter. Rear leg straight, 3 reps per side. And then we're going to go into squats with toe holds for 3 reps. We're going to do this for 3 rounds. I didn't show all 3 though. Back to the ab wheel. This is an old school exercise that is surprisingly good. It's superior to the walkout. You're able to get some great anti-extension work. That is resisting the tendency to arch your lower back. That's one of my postural distortions that I struggle with, so I'm doing this. First glute exercise of the day. This is an external rotation at the hip, made popular by Stuart McGill. He calls it the airplane. I still have a hard time with this exercise, but McGill is such an expert. I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to do it. If you're good at this and you have any tips, go ahead and drop me a line down below. Now we're talking side plank clams, made popular by the glute guy, Brett Contreras. This is also an external rotation at the hip. You'll feel it right away. It's a good exercise. Keep your feet together and the knee that's closest to the floor on the floor. Yet another exercise made popular by Brett Contreras, this one called the single-legged hip thrust with your back on the bench. I rarely see this done, which is a shame because this is an excellent exercise. With that said, I actually have my lower leg a little too close to my body here. It should be like 1 inch forward. That's one of the reasons this was so difficult. The other reason though is that I noticed I was using a very bent bar. Now my gym is populated by a bunch of 15-year-old boys, and I have a feeling I know who did that. The T push-up. This is a core exercise masquerading as a chest exercise. I don't do it as a chest exercise. I can do push-ups all day long. I'm doing this for the rotational training that you get from it in the plank position, which makes it safer, which is a necessity for most people doing rotational exercises, including me. This is a progression on the plank to side plank that I showed you in the last video. This is an exercise I call the skier. There's a problem with a lot of exercises for back, specifically rows, in that they shorten the range of motion through extension at the shoulder by about 90 degrees. This one plugs that hole. Now we're talking the javelin thrower. I feel like I invented this. It's a T-spine rotation with the cables. It's a progression on the T-spine rotation from quadruped that you do with your hand on your head. Keep your hips pointed forward, both your toes pointed forward, and rotate with only your upper body. Now we're going to move on to the lifestyle. One of the big regrets I have as a trainer is not emphasizing the importance of nutrition enough. But I didn't make clear the amount of dietary change that most people are going to have to actually go through to get the results they want. You will have to make significant changes to your diet. Now we're going to head outside, which is actually one of the main reasons to work out. On my way down from the Royal Arch, I did it in 50 minutes. It was a real nice time. Just want to say there's a lot of, or a couple social media influencers out there right now who are communicating the fact that you can walk the trails and enjoy nature and have a fun time outdoors without being in shape. And there's a lot of merit to communicating that. I'm all for, breaking social boundaries or whatever societal boundaries or whatever you call it. But 9 out of 10 people are going to have an easier time doing it and not quit if they are in shape. And that's my message as a guide and a trainer. Back to the workout. And now we're going to do the trap bar deadlift. And if you learned anything from the last video I put up, you'll know that I'm going to combine this exercise with a lot of accessory exercises, specifically core stability exercises, hip mobility exercises, and T-spine mobility exercises. What that's going to do is shift the load away from the midsection and up into the T-spine or mid-back and down into the glutes, and that's what I want. Here we've got a second core stability exercise, and I'm going to do it just prior to the deadlift itself. And the residual tightness in my midsection will help to keep me safe while I'm doing it. Yet more T-spine mobility. We're just going to keep doing these exercises and keep optimizing load distribution. This is what I call loving the deadlift. You're making sure that it goes well. Now I'm doing a stretch for my hip flexors just prior to the deadlift. What that does is it gets rid of any reciprocal inhibition in your glutes and can make them a lot more active during the deadlift. You should try it because it really works well.